What if I told you that someone right there around you isn't there by chance? That this person, discreetly present in your life, was sent by Allah Himself? Not with wings, not with miracles, but with clear signs that your heart feels, even if your reason doubts it. These aren't just coincidences. They are divine encounters, orchestrated with perfect precision. And in this video, you'll discover 5 powerful, perhaps unsettling, signs that reveal that a person in your life is a true gift from heaven. Stay tuned in until the end, because the last sign could change your perception of this relationship forever. 1. They remind you of Allah even without talking about Him. You wouldn't even know why. But when this person is there, your heart becomes lighter. You don't need speeches, reminders, or advice. It's their way of being that speaks. Her silence speaks volumes. She imposes nothing, yet she inspires everything. Without a word, she makes you want to return to yourself. And through this return, you draw closer to Allah. There are people who act as living reminders, not because they lecture you, but because their adab, their steadfastness, their modesty, their way of handling trials, resonate with something sacred within you. Their presence pushes you to correct your intention, to do things more properly, to avoid what your soul knows is wrong, even without anyone telling you. This kind of person is rare, and when they enter your life, it's never by chance. Allah doesn't always send signs in the form of dreams or miracles. Sometimes He simply places a soul next to yours, a soul that lives in the light of dhikr without necessarily speaking about it, a soul who has cultivated sabr, who practices tawakkul, who lives with inner modesty as much as with outer modesty. You realize their effect when you find yourself alone after they leave. You feel a little calmer, less attracted to ghafla, more attracted to what nourishes your heart, as if their energy has left an imprint on your soul. It's not magic, it's indirect guidance. And guidance comes only from Allah. And what's even more fascinating is that this person doesn't try to be an example. They don't look down on you. They don't evaluate you. They don't compare you. They live simply, with purity, with intention. They embody what many say, without ever putting it into practice. And that's powerful. Because the heart recognizes sincerity, even when the ego resists. Maybe she doesn't even know the impact she has on you. Maybe she'll never know that it's thanks to her that you started praying more often, or that you stopped a habit you've wanted to break for a long time. But Allah knows, and you feel it. If someone in your life lifts you up without stifling you, corrects you without condemning you, inspires you without forcing you, know that this person reflects what Allah wants to revive in you. Your original nature, your fitrah. She acts like a mirror, and this mirror isn't there to judge you, but to remind you of the light you still carry, even if you've forgotten it. It's not a relationship like any other. It's an encounter that was written, planned, and that carries a mission. If you feel this way with someone, don't ignore this sign. For Allah, in His infinite wisdom, always sends what is needed, exactly when your soul is ready to hear it. 2. They arrive just as you were falling apart. There was this day. You remember it, right? It wasn't just any day. One of those days when you were on the edge of nothingness with a trembling soul, a heavy heart, and thoughts no one could understand. You stared at the ceiling or the sky, looking for a sign, some proof that you weren't alone. But nothing. Just that painful silence. You prayed, but even your voice seemed to betray you. And then, someone arrived, not with answers, but with a presence, a message, a sincere look, an almost unreal timing. And you knew. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't happenstance.
It was a relief sent by the one who always saw you cry, even when you smiled in front of everyone. That person may not have even realized what they were doing. Maybe they just thought they were listening to you, or send you a simple sentence. But that sentence, you reread it 10 times. You kept it in your heart like a sacred secret, because at that moment, it was worth more than 1,000 words of advice. You see, Allah never lets His servants collapse without support. When your heart cries out in silence, He is the one who hears. And sometimes, instead of answering you directly, He sends you someone, a soul capable of catching you without even knowing how far you are falling. That's the beauty of the decree. Remember, you had almost given up. But at the exact moment you thought it was over, this person brought you back to the surface. It's as if Allah had placed a marker in your storm, not to rescue you completely, but so that you wouldn't be alone as you weather the storm. This kind of encounter is nothing ordinary, because it wasn't just someone who came into your life. It was someone who fell into your heart at the precise moment it needed light. It wasn't just a relationship. It was mercy in action. And this person doesn't ask anything of you. They don't wait to be thanked. They were there, and then they move on with their life. But you know that without them, you might have sunk. And even if they move on later, the impact remains. Because they entered your life with a mission, a role that only Allah could write. So if you think back to someone who came when everything was going wrong, don't doubt it. It wasn't luck. It was a testament to divine love, a helping hand in the shadows, a silent answer to tearful prayers. And sometimes, it's these souls who reconnect you to life, when all you wanted was to end the pain. 3. Their presence calms you without logical explanation. There are people whose mere presence is a balm. They don't talk to you about your stress. They don't ask you 1,000 questions. They don't impose any advice on you. But as soon as they're there, you breathe a little easier. You don't explain why, you don't even know how, but your soul soothes. It's as if Allah has slipped a little peace into their silence. A peace that's nothing spectacular, but one that heals in the details. Their gaze isn't intrusive, but it sees. Their voice isn't loud, but it reassures. Their energy isn't noisy, but it aligns. We call it sakina, this tranquility that only Allah can place in hearts. And sometimes, this sakina doesn't come in solitude or in prayer, but through a person, a channel, a human being the Creator uses to show you that He is close, that you are not alone, that your pain is seen even if it is unspoken. There are people you meet, and without even knowing them, you feel anchored, as if your soul knows something your mind has yet to understand. It recognizes an echo, a familiar light. It's not attraction. It's not admiration. It's more subtle than that. It's a connection that words cannot describe, but that your heart welcomes with clarity. And it's in these moments that you understand. Certain presences are answers. Answers to dua you've forgotten. Answers to an anxiety you could no longer express. Silent reminders that Allah sees you, cares for you, holds you. The world is filled with noise. People who talk too much, who impose, who overwhelm. But those who calm you down, without doing anything extraordinary, those whose aura is enough to put your heart back in its rightful place, these are rare treasures. And often, they don't even realize it. They don't know they're helping you. They don't know you sleep better after meeting them. They don't know they've kept you from sinking by simply listening to you without judgment. And perhaps that's their beauty. They don't seek to shine. They don't seek to heal. They are, and that's enough. So if you meet one of these souls, don't take them lightly. Observe what Allah brings to life within you through them. Calmness is never a coincidence. the peace that suddenly descends when you're with someone, is often a sign that this person isn't there to fill a void, but to remind you of your light. And sometimes the most beautiful gift that Allah offers you is a presence that, without saying anything, brings you back to Him. 4. They tell you the truth, even when it hurts. There are people in your life who love you enough not to hold back. Not those who flatter you, not those who follow your mistakes, but those who, when your soul is drifting, dare to look you straight in the eye and tell you the truth, even if it hurts, even if you get angry, even if you drift apart for a while. They know that true love isn't always comfortable, and they choose to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. It's not harshness, it's courage, it's pure love. The kind of love Allah places in the hearts of those He uses to sharpen others. Because sometimes, to find your way back, you need a voice to shake you, a reminder that burns a little, but saves your heart before it dies completely. These people aren't trying to dominate you. They don't want to put you down. They want to wake you up. And to do that, they sometimes risk your connection. They'd rather lose your friendship than remain complicit in your downfall. You know this person is special when they dare to tell you, you're losing your way. You're lying to yourself. What you're doing is destroying you, even when everyone applauds you, even when you think you're right. This person isn't afraid to enlighten you, even if you curse them at the time, because deep down, they're not speaking for themselves. They're speaking for your own good, and often later, you realize they saw clearly from the start. That's when you understand. This person isn't ordinary. They were sent to bring you face to face with your own reality. Not violently, but honestly. Not to humiliate you, but to purify you. And you know what makes these people even rarer? They tell you the truth without ever believing themselves superior. They will correct you, then pray for you in silence. They will correct you, but with eyes filled with rahmah. They don't seek to destroy you, but to rebuild you. You don't need 10,000 friends. You need just one who will love you enough to keep you from losing yourself. Just one who will put your salvation before your comfort. The one who isn't afraid of your dark gaze when they speak to you truthfully, because they see beyond your emotions. They see your future, your soul, your connection with Allah. And if you have such a person in your life, don't push them away. Even if their words sting, even if your ego screams, because through them, it may be your Lord trying to speak to you differently. 5. They stay, even when you're hard to love. There are seasons in your life when even you don't recognize yourself anymore. Dark periods when your heart is heavy, your behavior hurtful, your thoughts muddled. You withdraw, you push away, you cry out silently, and you believe no one could love you in this state, that even Allah may have turned His gaze away from you, and yet someone stays. This person doesn't hang on because they're weak. They don't stay because they ignore your pain or your flaws. They stay because they saw in you something greater than your fall. They see what you can become again when the light returns. And they wait, without forcing you, without judging you. You lose your way, they wait. You shut yourself away, they watch. You change, they pray. And sometimes they don't even say anything. They're just there, like a silent witness to your shipwreck, but above all, to your capacity to be reborn. This is the kind of soul Allah places on your path when you have forgotten your own worth. Souls who are pillars. Souls who don't flee at the first storm. The world tells you, be perfect or I'll leave. But this person says, even broken, you deserve to be loved. It takes faith to believe in someone who no longer believes in themselves. It takes heart to stay when the other becomes difficult to love. And it takes a divine element in a relationship to endure what everyone else would flee from. This loyalty is not ordinary. It is not born of dependence or need. It is born of mercy, of a love that transcends circumstances, behaviors, and the phases of the soul. A love that doesn't seek exchange, but gives, even when the other has nothing left to offer. And this gift is precious, because in reality, this person is a healing in disguise, a mercy that walks, that listens, that endures. She is living proof that Allah has never stopped watching over you, even when you hid from the whole world. For He sent you someone so that you wouldn't lose yourself completely. So don't take this presence lightly. Don't trample it under the pretext that you're suffering. Don't take it for granted. Because these rare souls, sent to carry your heart until it learns to beat again, are often the ones who quietly disappear once their mission is accomplished. If today someone loves you despite your chaos, despite your silences, despite your distance, don't doubt it. This person is perhaps the greatest proof that you have never been abandoned, that even in your most unstable state, you deserve to be seen, heard, loved, and Allah, in His wisdom, reminded you of this through a human being. If you recognize yourself in one or more of these signs, know one thing: Allah does nothing by chance. Every soul placed on your path has a purpose, sometimes to elevate you, sometimes to repair you, sometimes to teach you true love, the kind that brings you closer to Allah. Stop taking these connections lightly. Honor them, protect them, and above all, be aware of the value they represent. If this video spoke to you, share it. Perhaps you too will be the sign that Allah sends into someone's life. And don't forget to subscribe, because here every word is meant to nourish your soul.